What's up, everybody? Nate here from Out of the Basement, bringing you a brand new action figure review. Today, from Star Wars The Black Series, we are taking a look at the deluxe Savage OPRESS from the Clone Wars. This is the 19th figure in the Clone Wars subline. Long awaited, highly desirable fan favorite character here, finally making his debut in the Black Series, and obviously, as you can see, he looks pretty fantastic. So let's get through the packaging here because I want to take a look at this figgy so bad. On the side we have the mural art, which looks great. On the back we've got a bio if you want to pause it and read it, and here's the barcode on the bottom. Now, since Savage is a deluxe figure, they went ahead and treated us to not just one accessory, but two, count them, two accessories. First up, we have his double-bladed lightsaber, which looks all right. It's actually one of the few little nitpicks that I have about Savage. I'm always a big champion of, if it's a deluxe figure, just paint everything. We're paying a premium price, just give us all the paint. And unfortunately, on the hilt here, you can see that it is just cast in a light gray plastic. It doesn't have that awesome silver paint that we are used to on the hilts. And they've actually been taking that away on quite a few figures recently, and unfortunately Savage is also suffering a similar fate. But the sculpt is good. There is a little bit of gray paint on the hilt, which is fine, but I really would have just liked to see the silver as well, and there's a little dot of red there. The blades are easily removable, and the peg for storage is right here on the front of Savage. And out of the two, this one definitely has me more hyped accessory wise. We also get his axe, which he has before the double-bladed saber, and it's awesome that they did actually include this. We were speculating for quite some time, you know, are we going to get the axe? Are we going to get the saber? Us Black Series collectors are trained to only think that everything is going to include one accessory, so it was a nice treat when it was revealed that we were actually getting both of these weapons, and thankfully they did paint the axe here. We get some nice silver detailing that just looks wonderful. The sculpt work is also really nice. There's even some like scrapes and stuff on the handle, which is unpainted, but it's really cool to see more melee style weapons come to the Black Series. And now here we are with Savage out of the packaging, looking absolutely fantastic. Definitely some minor nitpicks here, but I am totally going to look past every single one of them here because this is, without a doubt in my mind, easily one of the top 10 Black Series figures of the year so far, and could even be a pretty strong contender to make his way on to the all-timer list. Time will tell, but we've got some really great stuff going on with this figure, so we're not going to waste too much time. I'm going to get him off the stand and we'll take a closer look at his paint details. Getting up close and personal, just take a look at that mean mug right there. Just what an expressive face. I love the grimace that they gave him, and they did a fantastic job with the photoreal. It's a great translation of what Savage could potentially look like in a live action setting. Eyes came out really well. I love the brown contrasting with the yellow paint. Everything is really cleanly applied, very well done. The horns as well are painted and they look great, even going along to the back side of the head. We got some pretty clean paint this time around. There's a little bit of a miss there, but not too bad. And we do have some fantastic weathering on the figure too. It is inkjet applied, but I think they did a good job with it. The shoulders have a really nice rusted, textured look, and there's even some more weathering on the chest there. Just some really killer details, even on the arms. All the armor bits are just really well done. The textured details just translated so well, and this definitely looks even better in my eyes from the test shot that we took a look at a few weeks ago, which side by side, just for the sake of comparison, you can definitely see they put a lot more paint on the final version than what we see here on this test shot. This one's definitely got a lot more purple going on, but like I said, I think this looks a whole lot better. One of the only other minor nitpicks though, I do feel like the shoulder pads sit just a little low. They're actually a lot better on the final figure. compared to the test shot, which we thought, this is potentially how those shoulder pads were going to look. So thankfully they seem to be a bit higher up on the final product. However, you could probably still argue they're a little too low, but I'm glad to see that they're at least higher up, because we were definitely worried based on the test shot. But hey, I guess that's why you don't judge a figure based on an unfinished prototype. Some more paint app details we don't always see. We've got some painted nails on his fingers. The sash here looks great. I love how they translated this. And we do get a little bit of soft goods here, which is just fine. It's just pretty much a purple piece of fabric. There's literally nothing to it other than that, so pretty unremarkable. And then down to the boots, it continues that wonderful detailing there. Absolutely great work. We actually have some paint hits on the buckles on the boots, which is awesome. We definitely don't see that in the Black Series, so thankfully they did put a lot of paint on this figure. I will have to give them that. Not sure why we skimped out on the lightsaber, but hey, Savage does look fantastic here. I think they did a great job with the details. Some minor nitpicks, but the sculpting and the paint apps are just on a whole other level. Hasbro knocked this one out of the park. And now we'll move on to the articulation, which is also something that is pretty dang awesome. So starting things out, the head is on the double neck peg, so let me just straighten that out a little bit. He can look up very far, and he can look down a decent amount as well. We do have plenty of head tilt here, and of course it rotates around. These shoulders do move all the way out, no problem there. Even though these big pads are nice and chunky, they're on that O-ring system, so you can just rotate them around and they'll stay in place, and they do not restrict the arm movement at all. We also have some really nice flexible butterfly joints. Single jointed elbows here that give us just a little over 90 degrees. We have a swivel at the elbow, and then we also have gauntlet swivel. And once again, ball jointed wrists have made their way to the Black Series, and we love them. You get up, down, left, right, all the way around. 360 movement. Every Black Series figure should have ball jointed wrists going forward. I'm saying it. It is such a nice improvement. Something we've also only seen a few times here is this double ab crunch that Savage has, and you can see we can actually get some decent crunch forward. There's just a couple other figures that also have the double crunch, so we have seen it before, but it is nice that it makes a return, because yeah, that's a great forward crunch there. Of course, the back crunch is good too. And there is swivel at both points. So at the waist and then at the torso there. Of course, plenty of side to side too. So some really nice movement here with Savage. Now for the legs, they can kick forward all the way. Even with the soft goods, Savage can do the splits very well. He's got some great kickback. No thigh swivel, but we do have a small amount of rotation there at the hip. Better than Kalnaka, but still not exactly ideal. We need that thigh swivel back. Or better engineering at the hips. Single knee that goes a little past 90, ever so slightly. Swivel at the knee. We also have boot swivel. So once again, some really great articulation points here. And down to the feet, they can move all the way down. They can go all the way up, and he does have ankle pivot. And so with all those points of articulation, it definitely goes without saying that Savage here is highly posable, very dynamic, and that's exactly what you want out of a character like Savage. Just look at how low this big boy can get, and he is very large. So with that being said, let's take a look at some size comparisons. And we will start things out with the Savage test shot and the Clone Wars Darth Maul. And of course, you know Darth Maul is a short king, but just look at how big Savage is. Truly worthy of a deluxe cuz big title, but thankfully Savage doesn't just fall into that category. Next up, we have Darth Sidious from Revenge of the Sith and Count Dooku. Following them, we have Ventress and the recently released Commander Bakara. Then we have some CIS droids. We've got the Super Battle Droid and the Droideka. Of course, we have to compare him to some heroes as well. We have the Clone Wars Obi-Wan Kenobi and Anakin Skywalker. And finally, for the Black Series, we have the Commando Droid, which was my most recent review. Check that one out if you haven't seen it yet. And then we also have the earlier seasons Clone Wars Ahsoka. And for the absolute final comparison, here is Savage next to the Bandai model kit General Grievous. And so there you have it. There was my review for the brand new Black Series Savage OPRESS. Truly a deluxe that is worthy of that title. I feel like they did a great job with tons of paint. We at least got 2 accessories, and the sculpted details and articulation are just on a whole nother level for the Black Series. I'm really digging what they did with this guy, and I'm so happy that he turned out to be worth the wait. Just imagine if we would have got this figure earlier in the line, just how disappointing it could have been. Sure, there are a few little nitpicks here with Savage, but that's pretty much any Black Series figure here. So yeah, honestly, in my opinion, this is definitely a highlight of the entire line. I might be a little early glazing here, but this is a really strong figure. I'm absolutely impressed by what they've done with this Savage figure. So there you go. That's my review. Hopefully you enjoyed it. If you did, don't forget to leave a like, subscribe if you are new. We're always talking about Star Wars The Black Series here on the channel. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Nate from Out of the Basement, and I will see you next time.